Dragon is in countdown. Falcon 9 is in startup. Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
You are looking. Falcon 9 uses helium as a pressure.
A small amount of liquid oxygen at minus 200. A small amount of liquid oxygen at minus 297 degrees into the Merlin engine's turbo pumps. And you may have heard called there, stage 1 fuel load is complete. They're basically doing that engine, so they're basically prepping the propulsion system for the full flow of liquid oxygen. And by doing this, they avoid a thermal shock to the system, and that ensures that engine startup goes well. Dragon also began its startup sequence at T-minus 35 minutes when it coordinated timing with the Falcon 9 rocket. The spacecraft is currently undergoing vehicle health checks. It'll enter terminal count at about T-minus 5 minutes with the next big step just a minute before liftoff, when Dragon will transition to internal power.
Вот, знаю, стрим я должен был начать еще за 20 минут, а не за 5, но у меня обновился OBS.
And you can see on your screen there are clamp arms beneath the Dragon vehicle. Once those begin to open up, that'll be coming up here shortly in just about under a minute now. Those clamp arms will open up, and that'll allow the transporter erector, which is that large trusted structure that you see on your screen next to the vehicle, that will begin to retract away from the vehicle. The transporter erector for the TE is used for vehicle rollout and to route for propellant and electrical power to the vehicle in preparation for launch. Now, once the clamp arms are fully opened, that'll allow some room for that TE to be able to move back from the vehicle. In these last few minutes before T0, Falcon 9 is performing final health checks on its primary communications, avionics, and propulsion systems in preparation for flight. You may hear calls that engines are sufficiently filled as we will get a little closer to liftoff, and then we did hear that call out that they are preparing for strong back retract. That is the TE that I just mentioned.
На станции космических сил
maybe a little hard to see, but the clamp arms should be opening very slowly there. Again, they are the arms just below the Dragon that you see there on the screen. And there you can see those clamp arms opening up.
С космической станции в субботу 11 ноября.
And again, as a reminder, the booster on your screen is flying for its second time and will be landing back on land at landing zone 1, which is not too far from the launch site. And there you can see that the clamp arms look like they're fully open now. That transporter erector can now begin to move away from the vehicle. It will also be pretty slow in flight, but just enough to allow some room for the vehicle for
В грузовом отсеке корабля на станции также будут доставлены два научных инструмента.
And at T-minus 3 minutes, 22 seconds end counting, we are waiting for a call for stage 1 liquid oxygen loading complete. This launch will take about 6,000 pounds of hardware, crew supplies, and science to the space station. And there we have the call we were waiting for, stage 1 LOX load complete, that is the liquid oxygen. One of the larger pieces of equipment that CRS-29 is carrying tonight is a technology demonstrator. It's called Illuma-T, and it'll transmit data to Earth on lasers. Those lasers can hold a lot more data than previous communications equipment, and this trial will show how that rush of data can help researchers learn a lot more about their work on the station. Dragon will be docked to the space station for about a month before returning home. At T-minus 2 minutes 25 seconds and counting, we are awaiting the checkouts of the second stage thrust vector control actuators. And this is often referred to as an engine wiggle test. This is when SpaceX moves the thrust nozzle on the second stage slightly to make sure the guidance hardware, guidance software, and hardware is ready for flight. SpaceX does the exact same test on the first stage engines just seconds before ignition.
Да, примерно 65
2,
метров,
lock load
потому
complete.
что корабль в высоту на 5
And
метров
great
меньше, чем
call out
обтекатель.
there. Stage 2 LOX load is complete, which
Первая
means
ступень
that
имеет высоту
propellant
42
loading
метра,
is now
диаметр
complete on
3,6
both
метра. На ней
stations of
устанавливается 9
Falcon 9.
двигателей Merlin 1D
Dragon is
с
also
максимальной
performing
тягой
its
в
final health checks to make sure that
7600
all the vehicle's
килоньютонов
primary
на
systems
уровне
are ready
моря
for
и
its rendezvous with the
8200
International Space
килоньютонов
Station.
в атмосфере.
You may have noticed
Ой, то
that
есть
there's some white clouds
8200
around the vehicle there
килоньютонов
on
в
your
вакууме.
screen. Those clouds are normal. That is
Далее идет
the chilled
третий,
gas above the
работает на
liquid
жидком керосине,
tank
жидком
liquid
кислороде.
surface
Далее
for the
идет
liquid
вторая
oxygen
ступень, высотой
that we
примерно
vent out
15 метров, диаметром
overboard to
также
maintain
3,6
pressure
метра.
in the tank as
На ней
needed. Once that
устанавливается
cold
один
gas
двигатель
comes
Merlin
into
1D,
contact with that
оптимизированный
warmer
для
air,
работы в
it
вакууме
creates
с
those
тягой до
white clouds that you see there.
934 килоньютон, который также работает на
And
жидком
we are
керосине,
at
жидком
T-minus
кислороде.
1
И
minute,
дальше в
5
основном
seconds
идет
and counting.
обтекатель полезной нагрузки высотой
Soon the Falcon 9
13 метров,
computers will
диаметром
enter
52
startup
метра, но в
mode.
Falcon
данном
9 is in
случае
startup.
наверху идет
And there we have the
грузовой
call from the
корабль,
launch
корабль
director.
Dragon 2. Также может устанавливаться
Falcon 9
пилотируемая
computers have
версия этого
entered
корабля.
startup mode, and the
Понятное дело,
Dragon spacecraft is on
Dragon.
internal power.
А до
Both
2020
stages are now
года
pressurizing for
запускались
launch.
карго
And-
Dragon версии 1. В
And
общем,
there we have the
посмотрим запуск
on-time
ракет
call, the
Falcon 9
SpaceX
с
launch
миссией
director verifying we are go for
CRS-29
launch
на
this evening.
МКС.
Liftoff scheduled for 8:28 p.m. Eastern Time and 14 seconds. At launch, the International Space Station will be flying 459 miles over the Arabian Sea near the coast of Oman. We are 15 seconds to launch and
T-minus
counting.
15 seconds and counting. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, liftoff.
And liftoff of CRS-29 carrying cargo, research,
Vehicle
and a laser,
pitching downrange.
laser
Engine
communication.
pressure is nominal.
A laser communications demonstrator to the International Space Station, now in its 25th year of orbital operations.
Nominal power and telemetry.
At T plus 40
И
seconds, Falcon
запуск
9 has
ракет
successfully
Falcon 9
lifted off from historic launch complex
CRS-29 на
39A
Международной
in
космической
Florida.
станции с
We
грузовым
are now
кораблем
coming up on
Cargo
max
Dragon
Q
2.
in
И
just
сейчас у нас
about
будет
15
Q, это
seconds
у
or
нас
so.
момент
That
максимального
is the
Falcon
point of
9 is
maximum
supersonic.
aerodynamic.
И на отметке примерно 2
That's the
минуты
point of
25
maximum
секунд начнется
aerodynamic pressure
разделение
that the vehicle
ступеней.
will go
Сначала
through
будет
during
отключение
its
9
flight.
двигателей первой ступени, разделение ступени, зажигание двигателя второй ступени.
Max Q.
And great call out there. We have passed through max Q. Now, with that, we have 5 events coming up that will be back to back. First will be main engine cutoff. Main engine is that what you see on your screen. Those 9 Merlin engines are lit up right now. But we will have MECO, which is main engine cutoff. And that's where we'll shut down all of those engines that you see there on your screen. That'll slow the vehicle down in preparation for the next event called stage separation, which is where the first and second stages will separate from each other. Then the first stage will perform a flip to head back to our launch site for landing, while the second stage continues to light its Merlin vacuum engine to boost Dragon to low Earth orbit during SES-1, or second stage start 1. And the last event will be the first stage, starting up its 1-minute long boost back burn. Again, those events are coming up here in a few seconds. Main engine cutoff, stage separation, stage 1 flip, second stage engine start, and the boost back burn for that first stage vehicle.
Nico.
Stage separation confirmed.
Stage
Contact
1,
condition.
boost back startup.
И есть отключение 9 двигателей первой ступени, разделение ступени, зажигание двигателя второй ступени.
Love
сейчас
those
тоже
views
начнется
on your
boost back
screen.
burn
You
на
could
первой
see stage
ступени. Это
separation
у
with the
нас,
first
а
stage
вот он уже
heading
начался,
back
да.
to land,
Это у
and the
нас
MVAC engine on your
зажигание трех
screen
двигателей
lit
первой
up.
спин для того, чтобы вернуть ее
And on your left-hand side
обратно
there
на
on your
место
screen, you can see
старта,
the
на ее
first stage in
траекторию.
its boost back burn. Some really awesome views there. On your right-hand screen
Также на
is
первой
a
спине у
view
нас
from the
вверху
second
вот
stage looking at the
устанавливаются
MVAC
4
engine.
решетчатых руля, которые помогают ступени при посадке уже в
Again,
атмосфере.
this is just about a minute
Будут еще
burn for this boost
раскладываться,
back
мы
burn
видим
on the
только
first
два.
stage.
Тут
It is the
также
first of
вверху
3 burns
устанавливается 4 двигателя
required to
РСУ,
bring
которые
the
также
first stage
помогают
back
ступени
to
корректировать
landing zone
траекторию,
1.
но их можно использовать еще и в вакууме. И внизу устанавливаются 4 посадочных опоры, на которые она, собственно, и приземляется. И дальше на отметке примерно 6-6,5 минут у нас начнется entry burn.
We just
Это
heard that
зажигание
call out,
трех
and you can
двигателей
see
первой
as the
ступени
engine
перед
shut down on your screen, that
атмосферы, чтобы
concludes the boost back
замедлить
burn
ее.
for the first
И у нас
stage vehicle.
закончится boost back burn.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching a live webcast for the 29th commercial resupply mission to the International Space Station for NASA. This is SpaceX's 81st mission for 2023 and the 6th and final Dragon flight to the International Space Station this year. We lifted off from Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A just about 4 minutes ago. And as a reminder, today's mission marks the second flight for this Falcon 9 booster, which previously supported the Crew 7 launch earlier this year in August. This is also the first return to launch site for a cargo mission, which helps improve refurbishment and relight times for Falcon 9. And what you're seeing on your screen again is a live view on the second stage, looking at the MVAC engine there. For the first stage, in order to make its way back to landing zone 1, it does have a couple more burns to execute. The next burn is the entry burn, and that's where we will relight
Vehicles
3
are
of
on
the
a
9
nominal trajectory.
Merlin. Great call-outs there. Nominal trajectories for both vehicles. The entry burn is where we will relight 3 of the 9 Merlin 1D engines. This will help to slow the stage down as it re-enters back into the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. Then the third and final burn will be the landing burn. That is a single engine burn. The center E9 engine helps bring the vehicle speed down rapidly just before touching down on the landing zone. And again, the M1D engines have about 190,000 pounds of thrust, which is just enough lighting one engine to touch down for landing today. We are just about 15 seconds or so away from that entry burn beginning on the first stage vehicle. We do use 4 grid fins on the first stage to help guide the vehicle back to its landing zone. They are 4 hypersonic grid fins comprised of titanium that are positioned near the top of the first stage.
Stage 1, entry burn startup.
There's that call out.
И есть зажигание трех двигателей первой ступени, так называемый entry burn, перед входом в комплекс атмосферы, чтобы замедлить ее. Хотя тут было больше похоже, будто зажигать двигатель. Они вот зажечь один при entry burn, а 3 при посадке, не наоборот, как
for the first
обычно.
stage vehicle, and you can kind of see the grid fins there with a little gleam of light on your screen.
Так, и дальше у нас уже будет сама посадка первой ступени, зажигание одного или 3 двигателей. А если 3 двигателя будут зажигаться, сначала будет зажигание 3 двигателей, потом они все равно, скорее всего, да, перейдут на один в конце. И на высоте примерно 100-200 метров будет открытие посадочных опор, на которые она, собственно, и приземлится.
Stage 1, transonic.
А само зажигание двигателя, либо же двигателя для посадки начнется на высоте примерно 2 километра.
And if successful, this will mark the 243rd time that we've recovered a first stage booster, and that includes Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions.
Stage 1, landing burn.
There's that call out. The landing burn has begun. You can see it there on your left-hand screen. Let's watch as Falcon 9 touches down.
Stage 1, landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Блин, а похоже то, что они вообще включили двигатель на высоте только 1 километр. Но реально это выглядело, как будто один двигатель включили. Но какой-то, блин, эти Burn прям очень короткий был.
Stage 2 is normal guided.
Ну и через пару десятков секунд у нас будет уже выход на орбиту, включить двигатель второй ступени. Я прям даже хочу пересмотреть. То есть Landing Burn. Это же один двигатель включен. А скорость, как обычно, они обычно включают на 2
Stage 1
км.
landing burn.
There's that call out. The landing burn has begun. You can see it there on your left-hand screen. Let's watch this Falcon 9 touch
Может
down.
быть,
Stage
было
1
не
landing
видно,
like
потому
deploy.
что уже в атмосфере и пламя прижимается воздухом. Не знаю, блин.
Of this MVAC engine.
CCAM.
И у нас здесь выход на орбиту, отключение двигателя второй ступени. Сейчас я посмотрю, когда будет отделение корабля, но должно быть примерно на 12 минутах.
Great news. We have just had SECO and heard a confirmation of good nominal insertion. At T plus 9 minutes into the mission, we are coming up on the last major task for Stage 2, commanding separation of Dragon, which is a couple minutes from now. We expect to have a live video of Dragon separation from the trunk, looking back at Stage 2. CRS-29 will be joining the Crew 7 vehicle currently on orbit, so we'll be back to having 2 Dragon spacecraft docked at the International Space Station. As for cargo, today we will be delivering more than 6,500 pounds of science, research, crew supplies, and vehicle hardware to the orbiting laboratory and its crew. And to date, SpaceX has sent and brought back over 300,000 pounds of crew and cargo to and from the space station. Again, the Dragon separation from Falcon 9's second stage should be coming up here in just about a minute or so.
Dragon 2 это класс
As a reminder, this is the
частично
second flight
многоразовых
for this
кораблей,
Dragon capsule,
разрабатываемых
having
и
previously supported
производимых
Crew 7's
американским
trip to space in
аэрокосмическим
August.
производителем SpaceX, в
Today's
первую очередь
flight
для
also
полетов на
marks the
МКС.
21st
SpaceX
reuse
также
of a
запускает
Dragon
частные
vehicle
миссии,
overall.
такие как Inspiration 4 и Axiom Mission. Уже 2 миссии Axiom они запустили.
Dragon has 16 Draco thrusters, each with the capability to deliver 90 pounds of
Существует два
force.
варианта.
There are
Cargo
4
Dragon
pairs of these 3
и Crew
thrusters
Dragon
spaced
способны
evenly around the
перевозить до 4
capsule,
человек.
and that helps control and guide the vehicle, as well as
И
4 forward
Cargo
bulkhead
Dragon это
thrusters
замена
underneath
оригинального
the nose
Dragon
cone.
1, использовавшийся для перевозки грузов в космос и из космоса.
Now today,
Космический
the
корабль
vehicle
состоит
does
из
not
многоразовой
have super
космической
Draco
капсулы и
thrusters,
одноразового
seats, or life support
грузового
systems,
модуля,
as it's
который
not carrying
запускает на
crew,
ракете
and this
Falcon
saves
9.
on
Опять
weight
капсула
in space and also
возвращается
allows for a faster
с
refurbishment time.
помощью приводнения в океане на парашютах. Вот, масса на орбите составляет 12 500 килограмм. На момент отстыковки от
Now, while initial designs of
МКС.
Dragon carried solar arrays extended
Возвращаемая
outward from
капсула
the trunk,
весит
the cylindrical
9616
structure located directly
килограмм,
behind the Dragon
включая экипаж,
capsule,
плюс
the
150
current
килограмм
Dragon
порезанной
has these
нагрузки.
arrays fixed directly to
Сухая
the
масса
trunk.
7700 килограмм. Но это
And you may
только
see a
возвращаемая
dark
капсула
side of the
без
trunk and a light side of the
грузового
trunk.
модуля.
The dark side
Она
is those solar
Cargo
panels,
Dragon
while the
2
light
может
side is
доставить
a
на
radiator to help
низкую
keep
орбиту
the
6000
spacecraft cool.
килограмм груза, на МКС до 3307
Once the Dragon
килограмм,
capsule
из
reaches
которых
the
до
International Space Station, it
2507
will be
килограмм
able
под
to
давлением
autonomously dock using its
в
navigation
самой капсуле
sensors,
и до
centerline
800
camera, and
килограммов
light
без
detection
давления
and
в грузовом
ranging or
модуле.
LiDAR equipment. The Dragon
Назад
capsule
он
is
может
connected to
вернуть
the trunk beneath it
2507
via
килограммов
the
и
trunk
также
claw and
может
connects
сжечь в
thermal
атмосфере
control, power, and
800
avionics
килограмм
system components
вместе с
between the trunk and the
грузовым
capsule.
модулем. Вот. Диаметр
And
составляет
another
4
fun
метра,
fact, once
высота
on
вместе с
station,
грузовым
Dragon can
модулем
serve as
8,1
an extra
метра.
module for
Угол
science
боковой
payloads
стенки
lacking
15
room
градусов,
on the
объем
space station,
9
which we refer to
кубических
as
метров под давлением,
extend the
длина
lab.
1 кубический метр без давления.
And there you can see
Вот она,
on your
собственно,
screen,
камера
the
этого
Dragon
грузового
spacecraft
отсека
has
негерметичного.
separated from the Falcon 9 second stage.
Он может прожить 10 дней в непристыкованном варианте, 210 дней пристыкованным к МКС. Всего было построено 9
Now, if you're
кораблей,
just now
4
joining us, you're
пилотируемых, 3
watching a live
грузовых.
broadcast for the 29th commercial resupply
Один
mission to
для
the International
испытаний,
Space
один
Station for NASA.
и
This
один
is
пилотируемый,
SpaceX's
один
81st mission this year and 6th and final Dragon
Было
flight
запущено
to
8
station
грузовых,
for
12
2023.
пилотируемых И две
We lifted off
суборбитальных миссии.
just about 12 and a half minutes ago from NASA Kennedy Space Center, Launch Complex 39A
Первый
in
запуск
Florida.
был 2 марта
Coming up in just a
2019
few
года.
moments
Это
is
миссия ДМ-1 беспилотная. И первый запуск экипажа
will
был
be
30
the
мая
nose cone
2020 года
opening
миссии Крюк ДМ-2.
for
И 6
for the
декабря
Dragon
2020 года
capsule.
был запуск миссии CRS-29. Это первый запуск грузового корабля версии
All right, so
Dragon
that will do it for me here in Hawthorne. So we are going to send
На
it
нем
over to Chelsea in
устанавливается
Houston
18
to
двигателей
talk us
драка
through
для
the nose cone
маневрирования
opening.
в космосе.
Chelsea?
С тягой в
Thank you, Jesse, and welcome back to the
400
International
ньютонов
Space Station's
каждый,
Flight Control Room. I'm here with continued live coverage
которые
here in Mission
работают
Control
на
Houston. We got a view of
4
launch
азота
up on the
и
monitors here in the room, and just like you
монометиловой
saw at home,
гидразине.
the Cargo Dragon spacecraft is making its way
Всего
to the space station as we speak.
в
As
пилотируемой
Jesse
версии также
explained, the spacecraft
устанавливается
has already
8
gone
двигателей
through a number of
супердрака в качестве
milestones.
системы аварийного
It separated
спасения.
from the second stage of the Falcon 9 rocket and performed a number of automatic
Топливо
checkouts,
в
doing
корабле
small
весит
firings of the Draco
2562
thrusters.
килограмма. И все
The
будут
next major
заканчивать уже
milestone that
прямую
we'll be looking out for
трансляцию.
here in Mission Control is nose cone deploy. We already got confirmation that
А
these
еще будет
lashes,
открытие
the
носового
things that
конуса. Но мы это
are
смотреть уже не
attaching
будем.
the Dragon nose cone, are starting to
Там
come
точного
off.
времени нет,
This
когда
is
это
a process that's
произойдет,
going to take a
поэтому
couple
всем
of minutes,
спасибо за
and then that
просмотр.
nose cone will
Всем
begin to
пока.
pop off. So let's talk a little bit